Hi, I'm Andrew Armstrong and welcome to the Back Office Teardown Lab. I thought we would have a look at what £24 buys you on the Amazon Prime, Prime Day sale. And I was going on the Prime Day thing because I saw it had Fire Sticks for £20 and I just noticed you can get the 4K one for just a few pounds more. So I thought I'll get the 4K one. So I've got plenty. I've got like 2 existing Fire Sticks. One I have hooked up permanently, one I use for travel. But I thought, okay, let's hook this up to another one of the tellies and give it a go, because it does seem to have one advantage over the regular one, and it has, okay, barring the 4K-ness and probably generally a bit faster, it does have here volume control. So that's super useful. And ironically, I would probably want to use this one in the bedroom. And that's not because I have a 4K telly in my bedroom, it's just because if you've got a bedside cabinet, you don't want loads of remote controls. So this could eliminate one of those remote controls. Or perhaps if you've got a TV that doesn't actually have a working remote, you could use it there. Wow, look at this box. So this is a bit different. I think this is a bit more elaborate than the original Fire Stick, but still pretty standard. So you've got your books, which you never read. You've got your USB wire. You've got your HDMI extension, that's fine. Oh, you've got an adapter too. It's the first time I've actually seen one of the UK ones, because the ones I bought were in America. So I have to still use actually adaptations to make it work in the UK power plug. And that's about it really. I have to admit, I've never looked at any of the books or any of the bump that comes with these. You just don't need it. You don't need any of that nonsense. In fact, it's normally just a case of plugging it in and then hooking it up to your Amazon account. And a bit of a no-brainer. It's kind of weird because if you use the Google Chromecast stuff, obviously that's very much reliant on your device, and it kind of sucks sometimes because you might want to put a bit of YouTube on for the kids in one room, and then you want to go use a Chromecast in another room, but your phone says it's streaming to your YouTube in your kitchen or whatever, and it's just all a bit of palaver. These give you almost the same benefits because you can just use the remote control. If you want to stream from your phone, get your YouTube that's on your phone to your Fire Stick, you can, because that seems to be totally independent of the way YouTube works, because now of course YouTube is back on Amazon. There was a bit of a argy-bargy where they stopped it, but now it's back on. I'm a little bit worried about Summit Lake. Well, I noticed the batteries go in, I think, in a slightly different way, and that's all fine. It still feels pretty good quality. I noticed an IR window, and I was a bit worried. So I thought, oh no, these use like a Bluetooth or wireless technology normally, so they're really cool. So if you've got the controls under the covers, you can still adjust the channels and things like that. However, I guess because it's operating your telly, if I push a button now, can we see that? Not yet, it's not set up. But because it's operating your telly, you see there's an LED on there now that flashes, and there's an infrared window, because of course it's going to have to send all the standard infrared signals to your TV. I'm kind of surprised we can't see any of it, but it's probably just because it's not set up. It just isn't sending any signals. Now I'm hoping one of two things when I do eventually plug this in. Again, I'm not going to do that in this video, you can just watch someone else's video on it. I'm hoping though that you can set the TV profile of the remote control via the configuration on the actual Fire Stick itself, because wouldn't that be cool? So if you just go on the Fire Stick menu, choose your TV, and it would download into the remote the infrared settings for turning it on and off and doing all that stuff. That would be absolutely fantastic. Again, whether or not it does, let's see. The other option, in fact, you don't have buttons on this. So a lot of those learning type remotes or programming remotes, they normally have the button and you enter the code, don't you? But you won't have many buttons here, so you'd have to be clicking 1001, 1002, 1003. This feels a little bit bigger and heavier than the usual. That kind of seems the standard, but that is a fair old wodge of weight. I should have a weighing scales here so we could see how much these things weigh. As it is a teardown lab, yeah, and before I even get to try it out, should we see if we can get into this thing? Because it kind of seems like it's crying out to be accessed, really. Crying out to be violated. Let's get in there. Whoa, there's a lot in there. So it's going to be significantly more juice required. I don't know how many more. Was it 4 times more or 8 times more? Wowie! £24. Can you believe what £24 gets you? This is a massive wad of excellent gubbins. Right, so we're not going to be able to get rid of, get under all of that heat sinking, but look what you've got here. You've got heat sinking, and that's sitting on top of RF shielding. Then you got your PCB, which is definitely many, many layers thick, plus some more shielding, then RF shielding, and a massive heatsink. There's something definite about this, that they want the heat to get off this bloody thing. And then you've got 2 antennas. They're labelled here, ANT 906 and ANT 904. Very similar tuning components. Are they? I think actually they're both. This is AM26-A, AM27-A. Is one a 2.4 gigs and one a 5 gigs perhaps? And I've also noticed that they're sort of twisted. One is pointing horizontally, one is vertically. So I don't know if that's to give you a little bit more diversity when you have it in the box. But 2 antennas, your USB for your power, and that's about it, HDMI. But that is quite considerable bit of kit actually. It's very weighty. I don't know if you want more weight in your consumer electronics. I think if it's not portable, you want it heavy. Heavier is better if it's a non-portable thing. And there's the casing. You can see it's just attaching to that. I didn't notice a metal component on the bottom there. I'm pretty sure there isn't. But no, there's no metal component on the bottom. It's just the heatsink is just touching straight on, but the top has a nice heatsink plate. This gives you plenty of scope though for forced cooling. To be honest with you, if you really want to, you could just get your forced air cooling on this if it's an issue for you. I mean, it's funny, it's hard to know sometimes if things are an issue, but I'll give you one example. I have rehomed my desktop PC, and if you recall, I was using those big airflow cases. So I took them out of those airflow cases, plugged the cases on, Gumtree or whatever, and housed the PC in sort of standard PC cases. And all of a sudden, in the last week, I've had 3 blue screens on one and 2 blue screens on the other. So all of a sudden, heat now has become an issue. So now I've got to really check the airflow of the case, and I thought I designed it correctly. So it just goes to show, if you've got these devices and sometimes they start glitching out or going a bit slow, or which is basically the CPU's throttling down or messing around, it could well be to heat. And I've definitely had Chromecasts in the past. If you look at some of my other videos of where I've added heat sinks to Chromecasts, those Chromecasts have become amazingly more reliable. So if you do get a problem with the glitchy Fire Stick and you're out of warranty, I would say crack this open and bond something onto there, maybe a nice big fan. So there, hopefully that's of some use to you. I know the Prime Day sale is long gone, so you're not going to be able to necessarily get it at that same price, but I think it makes sense to buy one if you get it for just a few pounds more over the original Fire Stick, because really you're future-proofing it, aren't you? You're just future-proofing your installation. The remote control does seem to be a little bit bigger. It does have the TV, the additional TV functionality, and it still has the hold the button to talk to Alexa stuff. So that's kind of groovy. So as ever, thank you for watching.